All right, so we've gotten to the hour where we're gonna dissect. We are gonna butcher some of the topics that we have today. We actually have a plethora of topics that we're going to be discussing today, starting off with a bit of like a part two of what happened, what we discussed yesterday on the melting point, and then that is the ecological funds that we discussed with Marvel, and then after that we'll now go into what's really going on, if we can make some sense about what's going on in Kogi State with the EFCC, with Yahya Bello, even with the governor Ododo. And then from there, we'll come back home to Akwa Ibom State and know what's going on with the local government worker. Sit back, relax, sip your cup of coffee. We're in this together. My name is Sharon Mandwa. With me in the studio is a political affairs analyst. He's also the president and founder of Open Forum. His name is Citizen Matthew Gofiokona. Good morning to you, Citizen.
Good morning, Sharon, and good morning, fellow citizens.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask you how your week was, but let's just delve into it.
Let's go into it.
Let's just delve into it.
The week is still very young.
Yes. let's start with the Borno issue. Now, yesterday we were talking about the ecological funds with Marvel, and I was very, very concerned, and that's why I brought up that topic, because I know that monies are given to states every year in case of natural disasters. Yet we have some of these disasters still coming upon us, and people are shocked. We still have state governors being shocked, and I'm going to narrow it to this Borno State issue. Yeah. It was all over the papers that CEO, this Allow Dam, be careful. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. It's about to if this happens, we're going to experience flooding in Maiduguri. It was all over the papers. It was all over the news. And during the period too, ecological funds were also given to Borno State. Now the Allow Dam has broken loose, and we have shocked faces everywhere. We have displaced people. We have people that are in IDP camps. We have dead people. We have hungry people, right? And as a result of what you said off the air, government negligence. What do you make of all of this? And let me just add that now that this has happened, we have palliatives all over the place. We have bags of rice. We have relief funds. Is this not medicine after death?
Well, you can see my mood now. When I saw that flood, and then the initial information in public domain was that it was a dam from another country, my first thought was that, the kind of thing that happened in 2022, the Cameroon, what is it called? That dam? Lagdo Dam, which is about to be unleashed again.
Yeah.
I said, why can't we just do something to mitigate this kind of planned disaster? Not until I saw a documentary by Adeola on the Allow Dam that is actually in Maiduguri, is in Nigeria, and that dam 2 years ago, citizens, residents raised alarm that dam has collapsed, that something should be done. Nothing was done. The state government under Zulum, one of the best by my rating over the years, because of the kind of insecurity he faces, the kind of project he's doing in the midst of insecurity, the kind of palliatives he gives to his people is different from what we see even here. Bible does a great deal in giving palliatives, but when Zulum is dealing with vulnerable persons, it's like rain. It falls on virtually every roof, and massively too. Not just meager things in nylon bags, we do in cups and all of that. He does it in bags. He builds his school. The kind of primary school Zulum builds is like federal secretariat. He does massive projects. So I respect him for that. Now, having to do with the Allow Dam, a few days ago, I watched Adeola giving a comprehensive documentary on the state of the dam and the fact that government refused to do anything until about a week before that disaster, the governor now set up a high-power team that was led by the SSG, Secretary of the Borno State Government. That very team had the acting managing director of Chad Basin Development Authority. That team comprised of Borno Geographic Information Service, State Emergency Agency, and others. And they went there. They saw the volume of water. They saw the crack that had been there over a long time, even from geographic area. So this thing, you can see it. Google map, you can see it. It's a massive thing. You know what they did? They came back and gave the report that despite the high water level, the present condition does not pose a threat. That report was submitted on the 5th of September. How many days after? The expected happened. And one thing we must know is that people have died. It happened at night. That water took people unawares, flooded their homes to the roof, and you can be sure that the death may never, the official figure may never be given. And the people will be so silenced that they will not be able to even account for their persons to say, I lost this one, so I lost this, and they will say, okay, there are about 200 or 300 that died in their sleep. But above that, well, nothing's above life anyway. Aside from that, the waste, the damage that are irreparable, it will amount to trillions, and there's no amount of palliatives. I have seen some people giving up to 3 billion, individuals, 1 point something billion. Dangote has given 2 billion, 1 billion to Borno State government and 1 billion to NEMA. Others like that. Even the Borno Northeast Development Commission that we hardly hear of, they have given 3 billion. All these billions. And a very dark man, the guy that does his skit in a different way, impacting, dealing with issues, not just entertainment, did a podcast yesterday. And to the effect that Fela's son wanted to raise about 1 million, another person was to raise some money. He said he was ready to add about 2 to 3 to 4 million to add to see how they can just do boreholes for those people in IDP camps. While they were doing that, he got a call from his contact person. The government went and gave 10,000 naira to those people in the camp and drove all of them away.
At the IDP camp?
IDP camp. The video is there. So where do they get to? Nowhere. The people are sleeping on the streets. So, very dark man has raised alarm that nobody should give Borno State government any kobo any longer because they don't know what is going on. So what are we talking about? When citizens speak on issues, those who are in government, some of them as certified unproductive people who rely on psychophancy, may such people never influence the voice for the voiceless. Because the people that raised their voices and they were not really heard, I'm sure a number of them may not be alive to tell this story. And those that are alive may never be able to recover. So the Borno State issue, and for the fact that nobody in government, federal government, civil society, and others, nobody is asking what happened. It tells you that people are ready to cover up their mess so that nobody will be reprimanded, because for now, the SSG is still in office. The team that the governor sent, they are still in office. Nobody has been sacked or even tried for mass murder. It is unpardonable, and that's why coming back home here, our governor is shouting, oh, I'm not sure you heard the statement he made a few days ago, I think last Sunday in the church. He said he does not trust the people working with him. Have you heard that statement? Yeah, he doesn't trust the people that are working with him, and he wants to have people that will be giving information, be able to follow up on projects to be sure they are done. And the next moment, the press department held a press conference to say they are fake columnists who are working against the government that they are in. They have to stop, otherwise they will be exposed. We are not safe. That's why it's important that the civil society, informed citizens, should be able to rise up when they hear a leader speak like this. They must see what they can do to help the leader to succeed, because if, God forbid, if Governor Moino fails, we are done for. Look at what's happening at the national level. A leader made an error. Instead of people to say, "Oh, Your Excellency, we can let's undo this now," they kept clapping, and now we are all in a flood of poverty. We must learn our lessons from what is happening to other people and what has even happened to us, enough to be firm that wherever, which is my personal philosophy since I was a youth, is that wherever and whenever issues are involved, nobody and nothing is important, because your life, people's lives, may depend on it. I feel for people of Borno State, and I also feel for other parts of the country, because when Lagdo Dam, the water is released again, that water got as far as River State. You saw the damage that was done, because a project that was to curb the water inflow from Lagdo Dam, that was to be constructed in Adamawa, was abandoned, has been abandoned since the era of Shehu Shagari. Nobody cares. It was a dam that was to be constructed that will absorb that excess water when it's released. Nobody has done anything about that. They'll keep on raising warning and releasing 3 billion per state. The one that was given to Borno State government, so as I learned, they said they used 10% of the money. Where's the other 90%? That 10% may not have been used for ecological issues. And that's what's happening, because even here, we didn't interrogate things. We have ecological funds coming in. What are they used for? Money should be able to have subheads, just like derivation, but we cannot point, apart from that, Akwa Ibom State has massive projects. I commend our governors, yes. I commend our leaders. We may have one rare case, but we have projects to show. It may not be commensurate with what we actually have, and the poverty rate may make nonsense of whatever we may think is an infrastructure, but we are still better than other states. So it's time to engage government more purposefully, and going into our 37th year anniversary celebration, people like us and in Open Forum, we are going to come out with initiative that will add value, except for those who are evil, patently evil, and we fear no evil. We shall do the best that we can to help our state, help our leaders, both at state and federal level, to deliver, because it's not their private business. People can afford to fail in their businesses, but not on governance. We have to have a participatory style in governance, and you can only do that with advocacy, peaceful advocacy, but very firm, so that you don't allow sycophants and misfits who have made public office their permanent employment, unfortunately plunging the greater majority to mass poverty, and even making the governor to make the kind of statement that he made on Sunday, which we in Open Forum, we are working on it, because we are going to help His Excellency Pastor Moino deliver.
All right, let's move away from Borno State. What you have just said is really enlightening, but let's move away from that now to what's going on in Kogi State. I have gone through various stories and various perspectives saying this on today's papers. This is just like a film, it's just like a movie, because we remember the last time that we had Yaya Bello's story with the EFCC, and the next thing, we saw pictures where he went to the EFCC's office yesterday with the current governor. EFCC, on the other hand, said they didn't see him. He didn't come to the office. In the media department, his media aides came out to post pictures. That's a lie. They were at the EFCC office. That's Yaya Bello and then Governor Ododo. The next thing, we heard that the EFCC went to effect arrest at the governor's lodge. They were not successful, or they went to effect arrest.
Okay.
Can you make sense?
And they were shooting.
They were shooting, yeah. Please make sense of what's going on.
It's difficult to make sense, but if you are familiar with how cases are prosecuted, and when it involves certain persons, it won't be difficult. You just be careful to follow the conversation. You are able to add 1 plus 1 to know that it's 2, and if somebody comes to tell you it's 3, take this and say it's 3. You tell the person you are not in their category. Remember, when Yaya Bello was declared wanted, the biggest drama I have ever seen in my life played out. Would I call them ritualists or herbalists? They were doing incantations and sacrifices in the open and making clear declaration that the man will never be arrested. If they are arrested, they don't exist. The videos are there. Lots and lots of things. And the governor, who has never hidden that he is a stooge, he is answerable. He, in fact, he made a statement that if he gives instruction and Yaya Bello says that instruction should not be taken, that it should not take his own instruction, because Yaya Bello is, in quote, the god of Kogi and the god that made him governor. So he is a nobody, where Yaya Bello was involved. Sycophancy and voluntary slavery had been taken to a level unknown. When the EFCC went to Yaya Bello's residence in Abuja to arrest him, they couldn't break him like they did to, what's that man's senator, this Imo State former governor. Yes, what is his name? I will remember his name.
I've forgotten to.
Rochas Okorocha. We saw Rochas Okorocha was doing live stream of the skit, and the prayers and the updates, and we were watching it, and it was real. Broke through the door, broke through the ceiling, did everything, and got the man, and the man is still in the cell. The man is still himself now. We remember the case of Fayoshe, who they said they have put their tentacles everywhere. Once he hands over, he must not dare try to escape because he's wanted for this and that. And the man just sent his boys to a shop. They printed a polo, EFCC. Here I come. He dressed in his EFCC branded this thing and went and reported himself. Fayoshe is still free, walking about. And in the case of Yaya Bello, he calls himself White Lion. I hope you know that's his nickname. But it suddenly became a black rat, running, hiding everywhere. And so when he showed up, or he was alleged to have showed up, I said to myself, this is likely a skit that has been taken to possibly 2 levels. 1, diabolic. Diabolic in the sense that you could tell him, you have been prepared, go to EFCC, you won't be arrested, they won't do anything to you. If they do anything to you, know that I'm not the herbalist.
Is this what?
No, that's what I'm giving you the kind of possible scenarios that I try to look at, and what will have happened, what will have caused that.
Yeah, this assumption now, is it based off of that other video where went viral, where some herbalists, you call them?
No, yeah, I'm using that. It's my personal thinking, and that's not only thinking. That's not the only direction I've been thinking.
Right.
It could have been that. After all, we are enjoying the latest skit. I'll be choosing, and all of that. So maybe it's another I'm choosing. Maybe they do I'm choosing. Say, oh, sorry, go. The third aspect could be that they have done their negotiations, because some very prominent persons, according to what even these people are saying, have reached out. They are making entreaties to be sure they give me soft landing. He's a party man, great party man. He is also an asset to the party. So if they have done that, just go there, and by the time you go, nothing will happen, and then the whole steam will have simmered down. So any of these projections, either I am here, go. Remember, there was somebody that was accused, alleged to have was pushing drugs, an actor from the West, and the camera showed that he had the substance in his belly, and the national drug law kept him, I think, almost a week or two. Remember what happened in that case? The man never, they gave him everything to eat, to drink, so that he can excrete the substance. The man refused to excrete for almost 2 weeks, and he had fans. People surrounded the place and they were cheering him. Oh yeah, Betty. Oh yeah, Betty. He can't do. He will not go to the toilet. He will never go to the toilet. But guess what? I think the thing took its toll on the man's life later on. I don't know how his condition is, if he's still alive, because nature is unique. So the long and short is that EFCC, from media reports, have come out to say that the mode that Bello reported is against their protocol. He went there with the governor and some other, they say, prominent persons. I don't know about that, but EFCC, from a report, I think carried by the Nation, has said that his manner of coming to EFCC was a breach of our protocol. No Nigerian, no matter how highly placed, is expected to come for an invitation in a convoy of vehicles and with a sitting governor. To the EFCC, he came with a grandeur which is contrary to our procedures. There are stages of documentation which Bello skipped because he was with the governor, who has immunity. The EFCC also did not invite the governor. So what was the basis for accompanying Bello to our headquarters? We have not been comfortable with the rules of the governor in this case. After fulfilling all procedures of documentation, Bello was expected to come with his lawyer or lawyers and not a governor or politically exposed persons, and it went on and on. Then we cannot be intimidated or subject our system to political pollution. The long and short is that the same evening, by night, they invaded the Governor's Lodge in Abuja, and as we speak, we've not heard that he's been arrested.
He's according to the last report, he's been declared wanted.
Yes,
still.
Yeah, that's what EFCC said. So I want to go with this last report in the media, even if part of the scheme we saw had the African magic content. Yes, even if you can't do that anything, people have gone wild. You don't know if you get to hear some conversations or even be aware of what people do to be in power, you'll be concerned about people under them. But be that as it may, EFCC, the chairman had put his job on the line that if he does not arrest and try this man, he was going to leave his office. So let's give it to him. But if it's a matter of permutations, because the other media report has it that there has been an understanding for a soft landing between the camp of this and the camp of that. That's why he had to show up and all of that. And you know, he makes sure he puts his media aid on standby to tweet every move. And that's one of the things, according to EFCC, that has pissed EFCC off. EFCC never made any official statement. They did not deny, neither did they own up to the fact that the man had reported, until I saw this latest update this morning where they said the manner does not meet their protocol. So they did not receive him, they saw him, it wasn't Amedis Amedat, you know, and they told him, you go, we will invite you or whatever. But now they went to arrest him because so far he is nothing other than a wanted person who is alleged to have made away with 80.2 billion of Kogi state money. Yeah.
So what do you suggest should be next? Because this has gone on for so long, that's one. And then number two, this misuse of immunity, because he is not immune.
He's not?
He's not immune. It's the governor that is immune. So it seems like, you know, it looks like he's using the governor's immunity as a shield.
Well, the governor, like we've been saying, and we also made that as part of our inputs to the last constitutional amendment proposals, the inclusion of the immunity clause in the Constitution, a blanket immunity clause in the Constitution, is the official endorsement of corruption by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There should be immunity, yes, immunity from civil prosecution. You understand? But on criminal matters, it's an indictment on us. It is a pointer that our leaders don't mean well for us to allow a criminal, to allow a fraudster hold sway. What happens to the people that bring out information about them? They are at risk. What happens to the well-being of the people when somebody, you cannot touch him but he keeps stealing? There's somebody up north, the trial, his own case, 400 and something billion, and when you look at those states, how much do they even get for one person to be able to misappropriate 400 and something billion? You then imagine what happens to our part of the world where states can have up to 4 trillion move through the table of one man called governor. And you see the lifestyle that they live. You see somebody break down the entire estate that they built just to build one building, because to him the mentality is he must be flamboyant enough. So destroy multi-billion naira houses to build one to show how flamboyant you are. It's a mental disorder, absolutely. So, and that cannot happen except where somebody knows that there's immunity and all this succession kind of stuff, because with a successor who is a voluntary slave, no matter what he faces, he will want to be loyal. But we are loyal to a fraudster, to a criminal, at the expense of helpless citizens, innocent citizens, children, both unborn, because whatever we do rubs off on generations. In fact, it even rubs off on even the dead. I've seen a situation where a sitting council chairman stole the money that was given for burial rights of a former chairman. No, it's a terrible thing. So people don't just steal from the living, they steal from the dead and the unborn. And you expect such persons to have immunity. No. This should bring the issue of immunity on the front burner. And it should count against Udodo, who has openly said that this man is still the governor of Kogi State. If I give instruction and he says no, please take his own. Kogi should be better than that. Anywhere should be better than that. So, well, let's see what EFCC will do finally, because even if they will call it family affair later on, and the parties try to step in, which is not impossible, we'll still watch. After all, we have somebody who's heading a party and facing charges in his home state where he was a governor. He has a nickname that is so very derogatory based on what people saw. But they are still there parading themselves and being flamboyant. And like somebody used to say, how do some people sleep? How do some people sleep? How do their children feel in the midst of other people, knowing that their father is nothing but a criminal? Something happened in Sokoto State yesterday. The former governor, Bafarawa, I'm not sure, maybe you've not seen the story. He donated, or he has set aside 1 billion naira as an atonement. I'm quoting his term. However, I want to take it an atonement or an appeasement that whatever he did wrong when he was governor, please, this money should be used to take care of people in need. And he has set up a committee to do that. He's not donating it. Some people are thinking he donated it to flood victims. No, it's a special fund because he is seeing suffering, and he must have reflected to see that part of what I did must have led some people into this mess. Let me atone for my sins so that God will forgive me. I commend such people. It's better than those that are still arrogant and they are still trying to consolidate on the wickedness they did while in office. Bafarawa is supposed to be very topical, maybe in the days to come, but for us that are always there looking for things that will impact humanity, I give it to him. It may not be enough, but he has at least said, God, I must have offended people, or I offended people, I took what did not belong to me. I didn't just want to throw this money into the river. Let it be there so that they can recycle it. Maybe what do you call it? Interest-free loans or whatever, or grants along the line. They may even have to increase it and all of that. He's 70. He has looked back at his life and said, at this age, what did I even need all of this money? After 1 billion, if the man is to eat 1 million every month, you don't invest, he will take 80 something more years. Is it possible that Bafarawa will live for 100 and something years? No. That is the direction we should be taking. Let people fear God. Let people just look back and say, like I said some time ago, I said, some of the people, particularly because of what I've been facing and what people who brought their cases to open forum faced, some of them died. I said on a sister station, I said, can our leaders, or some of our leaders, or a specific leader, raise his hand and pray to God? He said, oh God, do unto me what I'm doing to the people that are under me. Is that possible? They will not. A simple prayer. God, do unto me what I am doing to the people that I'm leading. How many of them can pray that prayer? But they talk God from morning till night. They lie in the name of God. They steal in the name of God. They oppress in the name of God. And they don't even expect you to raise your voice because you are attacking them by complaining that, oh, the pressure is much. Narcissists. And they feed on ignorance. They feed on praise singing. We need to starve them.
All right. And
by raising our voice during this kind of advocacies that we are doing, and drawing some of them, drawing the attention to what a fellow governor, Bafarawa of Sokoto State, did just yesterday.
All right. Thank you very much, citizen. Let's come back home.
Yeah.
Now it's the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, Noge Akwa Ibom State Workers Week. That's a Local Government Workers Week, and yesterday there was a symposium with the sub-theme Financial Autonomy, Implication, Integrity, and Management of Local Government Funds. You were one of the discussants.
Yeah.
I would like to get some of the resolutions from this symposium.
First of all, I thank you for bringing that up. Memories were following up conversations. And then I want to also thank the leadership of NOLGE, that is the Local Government Workers in Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Charter, which is led by Comrade Ernestina Iwe. I must say that she's a very unique person. I learned yesterday, I think she's the only female state president of local government workers in Nigeria. And looking at the week, they are having the last outing today with the General Assembly, and yesterday was a symposium which I was really honored to have been invited as one of the discussants. The discussants were very eminent persons. We actually had two papers. The major paper was presented by Professor Robert Odode. He is a professor of political science at the Denis Osadebe University, and he spoke on local government autonomy, strengthening grassroots participation, and inclusivity in governance. It was so detailed and it was so much on point that by the grace of God, like I said, I wish we had this kind of conversation 2 days, not just in a day, because we needed to deal on various issues. And then the second paper was presented by the State Director of EFCC, Asei Ukoli Omagu, of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, like you mentioned, he talked on financial autonomy, implication, integrity, and accountability in management of local government funds, where he warned the workers that you see issue of misappropriation or looted funds or whatever, as it has to do with them, if you dare take verbal instructions from politicians, by the time EFCC will investigate a matter, and there will be no documents that will link the chairman to the case in point, you will go in for it. And that was a very timely warning for the incoming chairmen, who are likely to see more money than before. But generally speaking, there was no communique that was issued. I'm sure they are going to put up things together and forward. But from my point, my contribution, we had two panels. I was in the second panel that dealt with the paper presented by the EFCC, and having it was a rare privilege to have been in the local government system, which changed my life and almost had me eliminated. I know what goes on there. The rot, in fact the non-existence of the local government system, and the fact that the workers are so miserable, they can't be their best, because in the civil service we are supposed to be seen, we are not supposed to be heard. So what they see, they keep quiet. But like I told them yesterday, no local government chairman can steal or loot without the help of the local government workers. Majorly, the head of service, the director of finance. They are the ones who are signatories to the account. The chairman only gives approval, clearance, go and collect. So if they don't agree, like I experienced, where the director of finance said, the chairman has not agreed what he was going to give me, so I'm not signing that check, and people couldn't get salary until the chairman gave the director of finance what she wanted. That's how terrible the system is. So we need to rise beyond the level where some persons who have nothing to offer than, oh, it's my opportunity to make it in life and to settle myself the rest of my life, which is what is really prevalent there. The local government, Norgay in the state, has done what I commended them for, that this is the kind of conversation that should be trending at the national level, and so very much. And I made an appeal that I had expected Akwa Ibom State government to have sent a message there, either through the chairman of the Local Government Service Commission, who was actually there represented by Commissioner 2, Ekom Ima Esit On. He extolled what the governor is doing, how workers friendly he is, which is true, to the extent that local government staff, they were owed this and that, they have been paid, though some are still pending, but he has done beyond what could have been imagined, considering what happened in the last dispensation. So I had expected to have heard an announcement that the state government was going to set up a team to work out modalities on how autonomy will be implemented. I did not hear that. So I appeal to Norgay to please bring that to His Excellency's attention, because for me, which I said so, I said it there, there is nothing called financial autonomy without administrative autonomy. Because in local government system, I am from Seretai. You are, I think, from Ini, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know that people from Seretai are working in Ini. Are you aware? They were not recruited by the local government. They were recruited by the state government through Local Government Service Commission and sent to Ini. Across the state, the unified structure can no longer work under financial autonomy. And now, if that would not work, it means there's got to be real down to earth streamlining of things, such that local government will have to employ the staff that they need, that they will to have spaces for. A number of local governments that don't have even offices stockless or even having a table. Some don't even go to offices because they will know nothing to do. While some places are understaffed, some places are overstaffed. So this very judgment, which even the federal government, like I said yesterday too, federal government was not even prepared for the case they took to court. That is why they have had to suspend the judgment for 3 months. And while suspending the judgment for 3 months, nothing is being done in states. Or maybe states are waiting for federal government to tell them what they are going to do. No. Some governors may actually be looking for a way the system will fail so that they will say they were the ones supporting this local government. Because a number of them have gotten used to local government funds and it will be impossible to adjust. So I am using this opportunity once again to appeal to His Excellency to please set up a high-powered technical team to work out modalities on how the autonomy for local government will be implemented in Akwa Ibom State. And I said something that came to my spirit that yesterday. I said the issue of local government autonomy is a bedpan for new Nigeria. Why? We should be talking about restructuring. But instead of talking about restructuring, federal government took states to court and accused them of stealing, of looting local government funds. And the state government could not argue, and they followed like that. They got the judgment, except for your state governor that complained that he's not satisfied. Others said, no, we are okay, but let's see how they are going to be like a Prime State governor. He said it. He said it's comfortable. That's the highest court in the land. But his fear is, how will local governments be able to take care of salaries and all of that? No, that should not be. The amount coming to local government is enough for their needs at any point in time. Where it's not enough, if they are a government, they will know where to go, they will know what to do to either owe or cut costs. Otherwise, it will fail. But since that system is populated by people, which was generally agreed yesterday, some persons, a council chairman, former council chairman, High Chief William Mba of Ibono, said during his tenure as council chairman, was only 2 councillors that knew their left from right. That he had to be preparing the bylaws for them. Yes. And while in the transition, I saw a transition member who could not write her name. By the time she managed to finish writing her name, she could not write her phone number on the attendance list. She gave me, she asked me, please help me and write my phone number. I'm giving you life story. Why? Because local government is a reward center for some domestic servants or people buying and selling slots, because local governments have been hijacked by what they call stakeholders. Some they call it champion. Nothing goes on without them, and they send people that they want who make returns. So the leadership recruitment is so bad, and it's not even at the level of say, oh, councillors. Sharon, are you aware that there are chairmen that make away with money? They can't even, including with even the supposed highly rated head of service or director of finance, they can't even retire the money that they take away. They cannot. I'm telling you from experience, they cannot add 2 plus 2 to say it's 4. So the system has to be overhauled, and Akwa Ibom State should be a model. Because for me, local government should be under state. But until that time comes, these bedpans, we need to put ourselves very well so that it does not destroy the state. And anybody that wants to put trap, that let it fail so that we say that we're the one helping the state, we will be here to follow conversations and we'll say things as it is. So please, Your Excellency, set up a team to work out how financial autonomy will be implemented in Akwa Ibom State for the good of our people. It doesn't matter if others failed, because some ministries, like even Local Government Service Commission, Minister of Local Government may no longer be needed. Baptist State Governor has already established Minister of Local Government. What do? You sit down and share money. You won't see that money to share again. You cannot have a ministry that all that does is just to sit on they call it joint accounts. The only thing you do, and it's such a lucrative, such a wonderful, amazing ministry that is only people that are trusted that are put there. Right. We should outgrow that if we want this thing to succeed. So once again, I commend Norgay and I thank them for the honor of having me as part of the very eminent panelists that discussed that matter yesterday.
All right, thank you very much, citizen. Time check says 10:46, 14 minutes to the top of the hour. So let's start having conversations with you outside of the studio. Let's get talking. You'd like to join in on the discussion. We've had a number of topics today. We've moved from Borno State to Kogi State and even coming here to Akwa Ibom State. So there's just a lot to talk about today, and we'd like to hear from you right now. So the phone lines are now open for you to call in 0803 085 7755, 0803 085 7755, or 0809 066 6909. 0809 066 6909. That number, it also serves as our WhatsApp number. We have Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, and the handle is Memories965 FM. Let's take some comments on Facebook. Melting Point, salute to you, Queen of the Airwaves and an erudite guest. My only question to Yaya Bello is, where was he before now? Interesting. Let's take our call. First call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
My name is Peter.
All right. Welcome, Peter. Go on.
I am ashamed of this country. A president has stolen money as a governor to government money to pay the student for free. But cannot be arrested up to now. But they are busy hunting innocent people. The man that Yayabe should not be left to the bottom of the state of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. All right, we're still taking calls. 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. I forgot to mention the name of the person that sent that Facebook message. That's God United. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is Engineer Ojo.
Welcome, engineer. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're relative for Borno incident. I will start with saying that the greatest natural disaster that has happened to this country is the political class you see in this season. It's a total shame and a disgrace, the characteristics and the nature of the political elite. The country is totally collapsed.
It's not collapse. It's not collapse. Oh wow, engineer. Please do well to call us back. Please do well to call us back. I would really love to hear what you had to say, but it's not collapsing in Jesus' name. We're sticking to positivity here. Alright, we're still taking phone calls. We have a few minutes left, just about 5 minutes before we call it a wrap. Bro John has sent his message on Facebook. He says local government autonomy would stop if the governors stop influencing this third tier of government. The office of the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs should be scrapped in Akwa Ibom State, else it's just a scam. The issue of Yaya Bello and the current governor being escorted to the FCC shows that Nigeria does not have strong institutions in fighting corruption. When the head of a fish rots, it starts from the head. Who appointed the FCC chairman? And yet, Yaya Bello walked majestically into the FCC office is a shame. If Trump could face trial, who's Yaya Bello not to face it is a shame. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome.